Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. This is the 23rd episode of a story in which 10-year-old Naruto meets Minato from future and that turns Naruto's life upside down. As Naruto lives a happy life in which he is trained by Minato and later Kushina too. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the party started.
After the problem with the Hyuga was solved, Naruto and Hinata became engaged to each other, with Naruto giving Hinata a piece of the Shodai's stone. With Hinata being engaged to Naruto, the Hyuga clan needed a new heir. After some deliberations, they came to the conclusion that Neji was the more prepared to be the new heir. However, Hayashi had to adopt him, so at the end he had to ask Neji's mother, Kyoko, to marry him. After she said yes, they found out that Minato and Kushina already had things prepared to marry Naruto and Hinata, so it was decided to take advantage of it. Hinata, dressed with the kimono that Kushina gave her, reunited with the rest of the Konoha 15, where she was boarded by the other girls who congratulated her. "I can't believe that you are already engaged," exclaimed Ino. "You used to be the shyest of our age group, but you are taking things faster than us all combined. Before we realize it, we will be babysitting your children before we got a formal boyfriend." Hinata blushed at the idea of having children with Naruto. Now that they were engaged, it wouldn't be improper to be more intimate with him. Luckily, Yakumo saved Hinata from further embarrassment when she asked her to take a look at her new ring, changing the subject of conversation. "It's so beautiful," commented Sakura. "And big," added Yakumo. "And it has a lot of history." Mito Uzumaki-sama gave the complete stone to the Shodai Hokage when they became engaged, and before that it was one of Whirlpool Country's treasures, pointed Tenten, who became a fan of Mito thanks to Kushina's stories. Things were not so good for Naruto. With the girls busy, the boys dragged Naruto away and reprimanded him for giving such ring to Hinata. "Are you aware of what you did, Naruto? From now all women who get engaged at Konoha will compare their rings with the one you gave to Hinata," said Kiba. "Come on, don't take it so seriously. It is not that they could demand a similar ring, it is a unique piece in the world," said Naruto. Although he didn't express it, Shikamaru was the most annoyed. "Knowing how competitive Temari is, I would have to think a really exceptional gift if I ever ask her hand," he thought. A voice announcing the bride's arrival ended the conversation. Everyone gathered at the seats while Hayashi, the priest, and Neji got into the altar. It was decided that Neji would be Hayashi's best man while Hinata would be Kyoko's bridesmaid, something that would deepen the bonds among them even more. Hayashi wanted to curse Minato and Kushina for organizing such a colorful wedding. "When I asked for Kyoko's hand, I expected a discreet and intimate wedding, not a celebration with so many guests, but now that I think about it, this is not only our wedding but also the unification of the clan. We are making history here, and the ex-branch members deserve a celebration that is being paid by the Uzumakis. It is a good compensation for those who were hurt by Minato when he attacked," thought Hayashi with a smile. He noticed that he was sweating. "Damn, I thought that I would be able to overcome nervousness, but I feel like the day of my first wedding." The bride finally appeared, accompanied by Hinata, Hanabi, and the Sandame. It was decided that Sarutobi, who was like a grandfather to all Konoha citizens, would be the one bringing the bride to the groom. On their way to the altar, they were preceded by a very happy Hanabi who was dropping rose petals before them. Everyone lost their breaths when they saw Kyoko's dress. It was an exquisite piece of tailoring, worthy of a queen. The tailor made it in a few hours for Hinata-sama and later adapted it to fit Kyoko-sama, commented a middle-aged Hyuga woman. "I have to find out who is the tailor," said another. Hayashi was speechless. He never saw her looking so beautiful. She reminded him one of those expensive dolls that his daughters and other Hyuga girls had in their rooms for decoration. He recognized the flowers from the bouquet as the ones that Hinata had in her room, the ones that Hinata treated regularly with chakra in order to keep them fresh. "The flower from the crown that Naruto made for you, Hinata. You really want to have Kyoko as your stepmother and to unify the clan if you are willing to donate something you treasure so much," thought Hayashi. Kyoko finally arrived to the altar. Although she managed to keep the composture, she still felt uneasy for having her forehead not covered even if she had her face covered by the dress's veil. Just some minutes ago Kushina removed her seal, making her a free woman, but years of hiding the servitude mark were hard to forget. Hayashi noticed his future bride's uneasiness and asked the priest to wait a little until he started the ceremony. "Kyoko, please take a look at the left seats, the ones with the hyugas," said Hayashi. Kyoko did what he said, and the sight made her smile. The branch were mixed with the main ones, like there were not distinctions among them, and more important, all branch members had spotless foreheads, the caged bird seal gone forever. "The breach that divided the clan is about to be finished, let's make together this change permanent," said Hayashi. "Yes, let's do it together," responded Kyoko. The ceremony was short but very emotive. When the priest finally declared them married, they shared a kiss that made Hinata and Niji blush, while Hanabi looked at them with curiosity. Hayashi looked at all the members of the Hyuga clan. "My clan? No, my family. Let me introduce you to my second wife, Kyoko Hyuga, a former member of the now extinct branch house. From now she will be known as Lady Hyuga, the matriarch of the new Hyuga clan that starts today. From now I declare that the old divided Hyuga clan is over. Long live to the new Hyuga clan. One clan, one house. One family." Everyone cheered and applauded at Hayashi's words. Many former branch members and some main ones erupted in tears and hugged their children who didn't know what was going on. "Mom!" exclaimed Hanabi while she jumped to Kyoko's arms, embraced her. Then Hayashi announced the engagement between Naruto and Hinata and introduced Niji as the heir of the new Hyuga clan. The new siblings were congratulated by everyone, with Niji still assuming that his uncle was now his stepfather, that his clan was now unified and his new status as the heir of the new clan. For Hinata it was the happiest day of her life dream to have her family united was now a reality. Her father found happiness again with a good woman, her sister and her got a new mother who cared for them, Niji was now officially her brother, he got a new father and was acknowledged as the new heir, a position he always deserved. And on top of that she was now engaged to the boy her dreams. Naruto-kun, Minato-san, Kushina-san. This wouldn't have happened without your intervention. You made my dreams true, from now I will do my best to make yours true too. We will defeat Akatsuki together and we will be there to see how Naruto-kun is crowned as the Hokage, that's my new promise of a lifetime, she thought. Everyone headed to the tables where they would make the wedding's feast. Just at that moment Anko and a very tired but happy-looking Irika arrived. "Where have you been? You missed the ceremony," asked Kakashi of all people. "We were training and lost the flow of time," responded Irika. "And what training?" thought Anko with a mischievous smile. "Hey, is it true that at the end Naruto and Hinata didn't marry and the ones who did it were Hayashi and Kyoko?" she asked. "Yes, with their wedding the Hyuga clan is now unified," responded Shizun. "Damn. The gift I got for Naruto and Hinata won't work for her parents," commented Anko. "Hayashi and Kyoko won't mind, the wedding was unannounced, you can give the gift to Naruto and Hinata for their engagement," said Kurenai. The feast was one that would be remembered for years with several varieties of ramen and dozens of different exquisite dishes as the Akamichis confirmed, and they had a good memory for that kind of things. Hinata ended at the same table as the Uzumakis where they had a very interesting chat. "So Naruto, Hinata," said Minato, "you told that you tell everything to each other, the fact that Naruto knew about the Hyuga plan is a good proof of it. Tell me Naruto, is there a secret of our clan that you shouldn't have told Hinata, yet?" Naruto began to sweat. Oh. If he finds out that I told Hinata about our blood secret I'm screwed, thought Naruto. Are you talking about how your blood can transmit the healing properties of your bloodline limit and how it can be used to delay, stop or even our reverse aging according? The quantity used? Asked Hinata. For a moment Naruto wished to be swallowed by the earth but Hinata intervened on his favor. Please San, don't be angry with Naruto-kun for telling me. He told me the secret because I got depressed after finding out about the Uzumaki's long life streak and how your own family also had a similar trait that meant that Naruto would outlive me several decades after watching how I got older and forced to take care of me while he didn't change at all. I couldn't bear the thought of the burden he would have due to it, and I told him that when I got too old he was free to get a lover or even to divorce her and marry a younger woman. Then to console me he told me about his blood's properties and how I could keep my youth with him, said Hinata. I'm sorry Dad, said Naruto. I couldn't bear to see Hinata-chan so depressed. I had to tell her that there was no need to worry about it, said Naruto. Minato put his hands on Naruto's shoulders. My son, I'm very proud of your decision. A true man must do his best for the happiness of his loved ones, no secret is above it, he said. Kushina for her part hugged Hinata. My precious Hinata-chan. When you found out about the longevity you got worried for Naruto being forced to see how you got old and forced to take care of you instead of being jealous for him keeping his youth as most people would do in the same situation. I can't describe how happy I am to know that there is someone who loves him so much, said Kushina. Thank you Ka-san, said Hinata. By the way Hinata, did Naruto tell you that the blood secret is only told to the spouses on the wedding night? Naruto-chan must consider you more than a girlfriend if he told you that. You know, perhaps you should marry right now, the priest is still there and we could take advantage of all the stuff here, this was going to be your wedding after all, said Kushina. We prefer to wait some years, said Naruto. When the diners ended with the feast the celebration party started. The newlyweds were the first ones to get to the improvised dance floor and performed the first dance as tradition entailed. After they finished other couples got into the dance floor. Naruto danced mainly with Hinata, with the couple displaying a great coordination due to their practice with their Rasen no Mai technique, though Minato and Kushina bested them thanks to their link. Other established couples also danced, even the lazy Shikaku Nara after his wife Yoshino threatened him to ask a dance to other of the males at the party. Much to Ino's chagrin, Sasuke had more dances with a surprised Sakura than herself. Surprisingly a similar thing happened with Neji and Haku, who seemed to be competing to see who danced with Tenten the most. Things were less complicated for Yakumo, who had a dance with all the boys without any problem, unlike Shikamaru and Temari who had literally Gaara's eyes over them, using his third eye technique to make sure that they behaved properly. And then Jiraiya and Tsunade got into the dance floor where they performed a very interesting and sensual dance that made girls like Hinata and Yakumo to blush, women like Enko wanting to know more about that dance and mothers to cover their children's eyes. When questioned about the dance the witnesses would describe the dance as vertical sex, with clothes and without inappropriate touching, so before things got out of hand Hayashi decided to end with the dance and go for the karaoke contest that ended with a final match between Shino and Shizio Amui, the historian/tailor OC who was invited the wedding as reward for managing to get the Kyoko's dress in such short amount of time. The final victory went to Shizio due to the Aburames having to leave due to a previous compromise. When asked about it Shibi said that they had invited Fu for dinner and didn't tell anything else. Are you sure that this guy is not our ex-teammate Orochimaru? Asked Jiraiya. Yes, I'm sure. I used my influence at the hospital to perform a blood test without his knowledge and it confirmed that he is not Orochimaru, said Tsunade. Then you are right. Besides, Orochimaru must be still struggling with the poison you prepared specifically for him, it would be funny to see his face right now, commented Jiraiya. Meanwhile, at Orochimaru's base the snake Sanin's pain was unbearable, he never felt so bad in all his long life. Kabuto and his best medic tried their best to cure him from the poisoning but there was no progress at all, the poison was something out of their abilities. Orochimaru himself had a good knowledge of poisons, enough to identify some similarities between this kind of poison and the ones used by his former Akatsuki partner Sasori. If it was not F for the fact that Sasori is dead, I would swear that worked with Tsunade in order to create this venom, so it is very likely that Konoha and Suna's ninjas salvaged his body and gave her the data, but still it doesn't explain why it is so hard to find a way to neutralize it. It is years beyond our knowledge, thought Orochimaru. The Sannin was not misguided. Tsunade, the best poison maker alive, created that venom combining her knowledge from 3 years in the future with what she learned from the poison samples she got from the Sasori of the future, another great poison maker. This gave place to a poison that was several years advanced to current poisons. The only reason Orochimaru was still alive was due to his regenerative abilities, his resistant physique and counter poisons that slowed slightly the progression of the venom within him. Orochimaru took a decision. I can't bear it anymore. If I don't do it now I won't be ready to fight when the time comes. Sasuke-kun will have to wait. He called for Kabuto. Did you call me, Orochimaru-sama? Asked Kabuto. Yes, release the prisoners, it is time to get a new body. Nobody was aware of the changes that this decision would have. Back to the wedding, all the single women minus Tsunade were gathering before Kyoko. What's going on? Asked Ino to Hinata. It is an old Hyuga tradition where the just-wed bride throws the bouquet. It is said that the single woman who catches it will be the next one to get married, said Hinata. Some seconds later Ino, Sakura and a reluctant Yakumo were with the rest of the single women waiting for their chance. Remember that it is forbidden to use ninja skills to get the bouquet, said Kyoko. She threw the bouquet and all women, all girls jumped at it as pack of wild cats to a fresh fish. The bouquet bounced from hand to hand, some tried to use ninjutsu to get it but were stopped by others. At the end the bouquet flew towards the bar and landed on Tsunade's generous cleavage. What is the meaning of this? She asked to the other women, just to be responded with silence. They must want the flowers back, said Jiraiya while he removed delicately the bouquet from its current place, making sure to not cop a feel. It would came later that night, and threw the bouquet back to the women just to have it returned. Now it is yours, Tsunade-sama, you earned it, said Shizun. Thank you Shizun, I will use that chakra technique to keep them fresh, said Tsunade. Shizun looked at Jiraiya. Why do you look at me like that? I was a perfect gentleman, he said. Don't wait too much, okay, she said while she left. What's going on with that girl? Asked Jiraiya. I don't know, I think that she just have to settle and form a family, responded Tsunade. Later, when everybody left to their homes, the only ones left at the Uzumaki home were Minato, Kushina, Naruto, and Hinata, who would have her first living with the Uzumakis according to the new law. Some demi-clones were cleaning everything. Earlier, Naruto gave Hayashi and Kyoko a scroll with the jutsu to make demi-clones as wedding present, giving the Hyuga clan access to free servants that would do all the chores for the clan. The new jutsu was received with open hands by the former main members because it would mean that nobody would have to perform chores in the new clan until Hayashi pointed that they would have to learn said chores because creating the clones would be a stationary charge that all clan members would have to do, and said clones were limited by the creator's abilities. As sign of gratitude, the experienced Hyugas who managed to learn the jutsu created the demi-clones in charge of the cleaning duties. It was a great party, Mom. If you were not a ninja you could organize parties and events as a living, commented Naruto. Thank you Naruto-chan, responded Kushina, so. Hinata-chan, for the next week you will be with us, isn't it wonderful? Yes, I never imagined that things would turn like this, commented Hinata with a blush. By the way, Hinata-chan, have you shown yet the gift that Anko gave you because she thought that you were the one getting married? Asked Kushina with a mischievous smile. No, responded Hinata while turning red. What kind of present Anko-san gave you, Hinata-chan? Asked Naruto. This one, said Kushina handing Naruto an open package. No, Naruto. Don't look, exclaimed Hinata. But it was too late and Naruto took a look at what was inside the package. A very short and very transparent nightgown that left very little to imagination. Naruto was now as red as Hinata while Kushina giggled at them. "Okay, Kushi-chan, you already had enough at their expense, let's go have dinner," said Minato. After a light dinner made with the party's leftovers. "Now that I think about it, we will have to prepare a room for Hinata for the periods she will live here," commented Minato. "There is no need for it, Naruto's room is big enough to add a new bed and closet for Hinata-chan. We can add a folding screen in the middle of the room to keep some privacy. We know that they wouldn't do anything inappropriate, although it wouldn't be a problem because they are engaged," said Kushina. "Mom!" exclaimed Naruto while Hinata's response was to blush at the thought of sharing a room with Naruto. "Do you have a problem sharing a room with your beloved?" asked Minato. "No," responded Naruto. "Then it is decided, you will share the room. It is the best way for Hinata and you to know each other, and it was the point of Jiraiya's new law," said Minato. Sometime later, when it was time to go to sleep, Minato and Kushina heard a surprise scream from Naruto and a thump that was clearly Hinata fainting. "Ups. I forgot about the modifications that I made on Naruto's room when we were still with our plan to marry them in order to save Hinata, like the candles, the petals and the drinks," realized Kushina. "Perhaps we could convince them to switch rooms this night," commented Minato. Sometime earlier at Konoha's gates 3 figures arrived. One was a middle-aged man with a patch on his eyes and some seals hanging from his ears, another was a young boy with glasses and a big sword, and the third had a big hat. All of them wore the symbol of the Mist Village. They were stopped by Izumo and Kotetsu. "Halt! State your business and..." "Wait! That hat! You are..." gasped Izumo, "the new instated Mizukage," said Mei Terumi, removing her hat, making the Chunins to have their jaws hanging. They were so shocked by the revelation that they didn't notice how a fourth ninja who seemed to be talking to himself passed through the gates like nothing happened. This ninja was a big black man whose most characteristical traits were his dark glasses, a goatee and 7 swords. "B, we are getting into a big trouble, your brother will be furious," said the Hachibi. "Nah," responded Killer B, "brother will understand. It wouldn't make very sense if a village has a meeting of fucking Jinchurikis without the strongest one." Hayashi married the former branch member Kyoko, Niji's mother, making her the new Lady Hyuga and unifying the Hyuga clan, with the Uzumakis removing the seals. Now Niji is the new Hyuga heir, and Hinata and Naruto will enjoy the chance to live with each other half the time due to Jiraiya's new law. Just the same day, a delegation from the Mist Village with Mei Terumi as the new Mizukage arrived at the village, surprising the guards to the point that they didn't notice Killer B getting into the village. The Uzumakis and their guest Hinata decided to skip training the day after the wedding in order to let the girl to get used to the place where she would live some days for each month. They brought some items from her room at the Hyuga compound and prepared the room that she would share with Naruto, including the folding screen that would separate Naruto's side from Hinata's, much to their embarrassment and Kushina's fun. That first day of coexistence was a real relief for everyone after all the tension of the day before. Hinata insisted to help Kushina with the lunch, something that resulted into one of the best meals that Naruto and Minato ever had. The family spent the rest of the day with Minato and Kushina, telling the younger couple stories about their genin days and some about Naruto's future self, including the first dates he had with the future Hinata, or when he accidentally saw her naked before the training trip and not realizing who she was, making them blush, and Naruto cursing his other self's obliviousness. Then came a little incident when Naruto and Minato got into the home's artificial onsen without realizing that Hinata and Kushina were also there, embarrassing the younger ones, but it was quickly resolved, adding some towels. That reminded Hinata the similar incident when they returned from Snow Country and how they ended relaxing like nothing happened, with Hayashi and Niji getting between Naruto and Hinata in order to keep some decorum. This time Minato and Kushina got in the middle, with the younger couple at the sides. The girl also noticed that Naruto preferred to sit at his father's side and realized that he felt a bit uneasy with his mother's state of dress. Naruto is not used to see his mother lacking clothes. It doesn't happen with the other boys because they got used to bathe with their mothers when they were younger, but that's not Naruto's case. He was without her during most his life, she thought. Hinata also noticed the glances that Naruto sent to her, occasionally making them both to blush, but luckily the heat from the water concealed it. Hinata also sent her own glances to Naruto and some to Minato, imagining how Naruto would look in a few years, turning even more red. It will be very hard to sleep this night. Perhaps Naruto wouldn't mind to share his bed with me tonight. He didn't. The next day Minato and Naruto were in the training ground, ready to resume the training. Okay Naruto, we already lost 2 days of training, but considering your performance during that combat we had, I think that we have enough time for you to learn the technique I have in mind, said Minato. What kind of technique are you going to teach me, Dad? Which one? Asked Naruto, not hiding his enthusiasm. Minato took a tri-pronged kunai from his pouch, threw it at Naruto's side and immediately appeared there holding it. The boy was speechless. Don't tell me that. Yes, you are ready to learn the technique that won the war. Thanks to the bingo books now other villages have learned who you are, it's time for them to learn to fear you, said Minato. Later, Hokage Tower, after finishing that day's training for Sakura, Tsunade was heading towards Jiraiya's office holding reports about the newest medic neens, especially those from the Konoha 15. My cute medic neens are progressing faster than I could ever imagined. Sakura is the best one healing massive injuries, while Hinata is better healing the most complex ones. Then there is Ino, who stands out over the others in treating and making poisons, while Haku's knowledge of pressure and his little project will be a great surprise when the time comes, she thought with a proud smile. She crossed paths with Izumo and Kotetsu, the eternal Chunins, who were having a conversation. I can't believe that she is the new Mizukage, commented Izumo. Yeah, she looks like a combination of Tsunade, Anko, and Kushina, said Kotetsu, moving his hand several centimeters near his chest. Who are you talking about? Asked Tsunade in a very serious tone. The pair of Chunins looked at her in a way that reminded her that time she almost killed Jiraiya when he peeped on her. Funny old times. We were talking about the new Mizukage. She is having a meeting with Hokage-sama. Please don't kill us. Tsunade ignored the frightened ninjas and kept heading towards Jiraiya's office. So May managed to become Mizukage again. It will be interesting to see her. When I didn't become Hokage in this timeline, I was afraid that without another female precedent as Kage she wouldn't be elected again, she thought. Then she realized something. Oh wait, she is with Jiraiya of all people. Tsunade dashed towards her destination and opened the door. The sight before her confirmed her suspicions. May was inclined on the Hokage's desk, giving a good sight of her very generous cleavage to a drooling Jiraiya, while a sweat-dropping Zabuza was asking himself why his loyalties were with villages led by those two, Ao, Tenzo, Suigetsu and a Konoha Anbu moving the head in shame for their respective leaders, and Chojuro having waterfall-like tears. So, what do you think about my proposal, Hokage-kun? It would be a great way to cement an alliance against our common enemy, don't you think so? Purred May. Why yes, it will be a good prelude for the exams, and this way we could show the strength of our new boob. I mean allies, babbled Jiraiya, not taking away his eyes from the Mizukage. Do I interrupt something? Asked Tsunade, advertising her presence to those at the room. That harlot. How she dares to flirt so shamelessly with my Jiraiya-kun. She has the whole Mist Village for herself, she can choose any man from there, she doesn't have to get one here, she thought. Ah, Tsunade Heim, I have great news, let me introduce you to Mei Terumi, the new Mizukage. After our common enemy was exposed at Snow Country, people at Kirigakure realized that they have been manipulated by him and named May as the new Mizukage. She came here to Konoha in order to make an alliance against him. Now we were negotiating a special event just before the exams, this way all the major villages will have a representation. Isn't it great? Said Jiraiya, taking his eyes from May's cleavage and behaving like nothing happened. May sent a calculating look at Tsunade. Damn it, she can screw our plans. We really need to make that event before the exams in order to show to the world that Mizu is still a powerful village. During Snow's civil war we lost our bijus, a kage and several of the swords. We are now in a very delicate situation and these Chunin exams and an alliance with Konoha are the best chancea to gain prestige and power. It is the first time that there are more than 3 major villages participating in an exam. We would lose a lot of face if we are the only one not there. The last thing I need is a jealous woman getting in the way, thought Mei. Nice to meet you Mizukage-sama, it's an honor to meet the first Kage woman. I have no doubt that you will be able to handle such a great responsibility, said Tsunade with a fake smile. It's an honor to meet you too, Tsunade-san. On your younger days you were one of my role models. I was just a little girl during that time, said Mei with another fake smile and remarking the age difference. A vein popped on Tsunade's forehead. Oh yes, the younger days, Jiraiya-kun used to ask me out all time and I used to reject him. I was such a vain teenager. But now that I am a true woman I realized how foolish I was and now Jiraiya-kun and I are lovers. Tell me, Mei-chan, is there a man on your life or are you still a single woman? Responded Tsunade while keeping her cool. A shadow appeared over Mei's face and for some moments it seemed that the atmosphere was thicker. Ao, Chojuro, and Zabuza looked horrified at Mei realizing that Tsunade touched the only subject that shouldn't be exposed around the Mizukage. Shit. If those two begin to fight the village will end leveled, they thought. Suddenly the shadow disappeared, the atmosphere returned to normality and Mei had the most cheerful smile she ever displayed. Unfortunately I didn't find the right person yet. What are you doing here Tsunade-san? This is a meeting between Kages, we are talking about important subjects, said Mei. I just brought Jiraiya-kun some reports he asked me, they are about our personal project to have a medic nin on each team, said Tsunade while she inclined herself on the desk, making sure to give Jiraiya a good sight of her own cleavage. Tsunade's bold tactic had the desired effects and Jiraiya's, and the other men's, eyes were focused on her. Huh, take that. Really you thought that you could compete against me on one of my own fields? Nobody has better boobs than me, nobody, thought Tsunade with a smirk. So you want to play hard, eh? You chose the wrong adversary, Tsunade, thought Mei. Then to everybody's surprise Mei sat down on the desk and got closer to Tsunade in a way that her breasts were touching the left side of Jiraiya's face. Well, then your presence is no longer necessary, Tsunade-sama. Have a nice day, said Mei behaving like Jiraiya didn't have half his face between her assets. I can't believe that she did that, thought Ao. Lucky bastard, thought Tenzo and Zabuza. So that's the new Mizukage? What the hell am I doing in Konoha, thought Suigetsu. Why Mei-sama? Whyyyyyyyyyy, thought Chojuro with tears on his eyes. Jiraiya for his part was enjoying the situation. A lot. Tsunade-chan is going to kill me. But I don't care, he thought. Then Tsunade surprised everyone sitting down on the table and approaching her face to Mei's, getting the other half of Jiraiya's face trapped between her own breasts. Well Mizukage-sama, I'm one of Hokage-sama's counselors, it is my duty to stay here and be part of the negotiations, said Tsunade, also behaving like Jiraiya's face was elsewhere. What a lucky bastard, exclaimed all the men at the room. Just at that moment all male perverts on the elemental nations felt momentarily jealous of Jiraiya without knowing the cause. In an ocean beyond the elemental nations a cook with spiral-shaped eyebrows felt the need to shake hands with a man he never met before. In another reality an old pervert with a turtle team and a shapeshifter pig realized that someone got the ultimate poof and an old panty thief in another one wanted to jump towards the chest of the gender shifter son/daughter of his student. Why do I have the impression that someone is accomplishing my dream concerning boobs, thought Killer B. Jiraiya for his part never could have imagined that one of his favorite scenes from his books was happening to him. Tsunade-chan killed me. I'm dead and I'm in heaven. Some hours later even though the first impressions between Tsunade and Mei were not very successful, the negotiations between the villages were another thing and a secret alliance between the villages was formed after getting the Kazekage's approval. via hawks. The reason to make it secret was in order to prevent a response from Iwa and Kumo. Konoha was already allied with Suna. The other great villages could see the Triple Alliance as a threat. The alliance only would be made public knowledge if Mizu was attacked by another village, with only the Kazekage and his most trusted advisors being the only ones outside Konoha or Mizu aware of it. Zabuza would be considered from that moment a special ninja who would act as secret ambassador from both sides. Suigetsu for his part decided to join back Kirigakure and follow his brother's steps in that place after he heard that the Uzumaki clan was willing to provide some seals that would help Mizu's swordsmiths to create new swords to replace those under Konoha's control. Another reason was that he preferred to receive orders from Mei than from Jiraiya. As part of the agreement, they would celebrate an event just before the prelims where Chojuro and Suigetsu would fight some Konoha ninjas in order to show Mizu's strength. It was also decided that Konoha would return Shibuki, the blast sword, to Mizu while Mizu would give back Ao's Byakugan. Mei forgot to mention that Ao also had the other Byakugan eye from the Hyuga. He got the first one. Finally, they told Mei about Orochimaru's possible attack and how they could take advantage of it, showing more of her village's strength. Jiraiya was heading back to the room he shared with Tsunade, thinking about the terms of the negotiation. Some could say that Konoha made too many concessions to Mizu, but as the strongest party it is our duty to be the most generous. With Akatsuki's menace, the stronger Konoha's allies became, the better for us, he thought. When he got into the room he noticed that Tsunade was there, giving her back. "Wait Jiraiya, don't enter," she said while covering her face. "Why? It is not that you are naked and I already saw you like that," he said. Then he noticed the wrinkles on her arms, that began to disappear until there was only smooth skin. "What? You don't want me to see you without your appearance technique active?" "I already saw you like that, I don't care," said Jiraiya. "But it was before we became a couple," said Tsunade. "Tsunade-hime, I love you, not your looks, please release that technique and turn yourself, I will show you something," he said. Tsunade, tough a bit reluctant, released her technique and turned. Jiraiya had his robe open showing the big scar on his chest. "Tell me, Tsunade-chan, you don't show any repugnance to me when you see this scar, why I should feel it when I see you with that appearance? You sacrificed your youthful appearance with the use of your creation rebirth jutsu, a technique that let you heal yourself while you healed your comrades. I lost the count of the times that we and many other comrades could have died if you didn't have that technique. You sacrificed years of your life so others could live. Our teacher knew it and for that reason he let you leave the village, you already made enough for us. For me those wrinkles are your war scars, the proof of the sacrifice you made, I never could see them as disgusting, for me you always will be the most beautiful woman of the world," said Jiraiya while he embraced Tsunade and kissed her. Tsunade returned the kiss while she got back her youthful appearance. "Thank you Jiraiya-kun, you don't know how happy you made me with those words," she said. "You also made me very happy when you claimed to everybody that we were lovers, Tsunade-chan, I have been waiting for years to hear those words," he said. "Then let's make you happier," said Tsunade in a sensual tone while she removed her clothes. Minato began to teach Naruto the secrets of the Hiraishin. Hinata began to live with the Uzumakis and Mei Terumi. The new Mizukage managed to form a secret alliance with Konoha that included a small modification to the Chunin exams. When Karen found herself waking up in a hospital room, the first thing she did was to look for her glasses. To her relief, they were on the side of the bed. "Now that I think about it, they got broken when my team was attacked. It looks like someone from this village paid to have them repaired. Where are my other teammates? Am I the only survivor?" she thought. A nurse got into the room and looked at her shocked but regained the composure. "You are awake Karen-san, how do you feel?" she asked. "I'm fine Nurse-san, I always had a good vitality." "How are my teammates?" she asked. "I'm sorry Karen-san, but your teammates didn't make it, you are the only survivor from your team. In fact you are the only genin among those who didn't pass the second part of the exams who is alive, the rest of the examinees are dead. Look Karen-san, I know that you must feel sad, but we need to talk with you to find out who did that. The other villages are nagging Konoha for having so many casualties, although they won't ask for compensation due to the form signed at the beginning of the exam. Everyone wants to know who did it, said the nurse. The truth was that Karen was barely affected about what happened to her teammates. She was added to the team in order to replace a member who got ill. She barely knew them, but she began to cry with fake tears and pretend that she was really shocked by their deaths. She knew how much Konoha's people valued team bonds, and her little charade would get her some sympathies and better treatment from them. As expected, the nurse did her best to console her and even brought her favorite food for lunch later. Next day Karen had a talk with Ibiki and Inoichi, telling them everything she knew about the massacre at the forest. Then, much to her surprise, she was introduced to the Hokage himself and Tsunade Senju. They told her that they found out that she was related to some important members of the village, including Tsunade herself, and due to that the leaders of the Grass Village were willing to negotiate her transfer to Konoha's ranks in exchange for an amount of money equivalent to the cost of her ninja training that her family at Konoha would pay. So if she wanted to join Konoha, she would be welcomed with open arms and would receive training from Tsunade, who would help her to develop her exceptional abilities. The girl didn't lose time to accept the invitation. She didn't have many friends at Kusa and her parents died in a fire when she was little. In that place she was a kunoichi, valued by her chakra sensing ability and her healing chakra, but nothing more. At Konoha she would learn to use her healing chakra without being bitten while receiving a training that she wouldn't have received in Kusa. However, it was nothing compared to the joy to know that she had a family that wanted her to be part of their lives. She was now in the hospital room waiting to meet her relatives. My mother once told me that she was from Whirlpool Country. If my guesses are correct, that must mean that I'm part of that clan related to the Sanjus. What was its name? Uzumaki, Uzumaki? I heard that Konoha's red spiral is actually one of their symbols. That means that I won the lottery. I can imagine boys courting me and asking for dates, she thought. Tsunade got into the room. Hello Karen-chan, I'm very glad with your decision to join us. Families have to stick together. Your family just came here and... Before Tsunade could say anything else, a big man with a strange hairstyle rushed into the room, followed by a middle-aged woman and a girl of Karen's age. Karen, my brother's daughter. You are alive. When we didn't get news about you, we thought that you died in that fire. You don't know how happy we are to have you here, exclaimed the man while he engulfed Karen in a crushing hug. She looked at the strange man and noticed his peculiar appearance. Who's that guy? Is he really my uncle as he claims? What kind of hair is that? It is pink and has the shape of a cherry blossom. And that girl has even pinker hair. Where are they from? The Hidden Flower Village, she thought. Tsunade spoke. Karen-chan, let me introduce you to your closest relatives, the Harunos. He is Kazashi Haruno, your estranged uncle and your father's brother. With him came your aunt Mabuki Haruno and your cousin Sakura Haruno, who is also one of my students, she said. Nice to meet you Karen-chan, I hope that we will get along fine, said Mabuki. Hello Karen, I'm very sorry about your teammates. If we knew the truth earlier, then my team would have helped you during the exams, said Sakura. Meanwhile, outside the room, Naruto, Minato and Kushina were waiting until Karen was introduced to the Harunos. I never imagined that the girl who survived the exams massacre could be your cousin, Mom, commented Naruto. Yes, I'm also surprised. When my aunt escaped to another village, she changed her surname to avoid persecution. I never found out that she was alive and less that she had a daughter. We were lucky that I noticed Karen's similarities with my aunt, and a further research and a blood test confirmed her identity, said Kushina. Even more surprising was to find out that she is also related to the Harunos, or that she was one of Sasuke's followers in the other timeline. Luckily this time she won't turn into an enemy of Konoha, commented Minato. I wonder how she would be like, commented Naruto. Kazashi and Mabuki got out from the room. We decided to let the girls to know each other while we go to get some drinks. We hope that you don't mind to wait a little more to meet her, said Mabuki. There is no problem, Karen suffered a lot and spending time with a girl of her age will be beneficial to her, said Kushina. For eyes, exclaimed Sakura's voice. Forehead girl, exclaimed Karen's voice. It looks like they are getting along fine, the same thing that happens with Ino-chan, this will be the beginning of a great friendship, commented a happy Kazashi. Everyone agreed. The Uzumakis got to Karen's room 2 hours later. Kushina hugged Karen and told her that she would never be alone again. Then she introduced the girl to her Naruto and Minato. Karen was shocked to find out that her cousin had a son of her own age, making Naruto Karen's second cousin. Naruto also could be considered your second nephew too, but I guess that it will be better to consider you cousins and me as your aunt, said Kushina. Karen was very shocked to find out that her relatives were Konoha's Black Angel, the Crimson Death and the so-called Prince of Konoha. Then they told her about Naruto being the Jinchuriki of the Kyubi no Kitsune, shocking her even more. Is there anything else I should know? Asked Karen while she took a seat. Yes, I'm actually Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage of Konoha, also known as the Yellow Flash, said Minato while he took off his mask. Karen was speechless. And I'm a time traveler from the future, added Minato. Karen fainted. We should wait a little to tell her that Mom was a ghost for years or that I have a group of S-class criminals after me, commented Naruto. Karen was very busy the next days, learning about both her families and about Konoha. She took the additional news about the Uzumakis after the initial shock. Then she realized that she could be targeted by the Uzumaki's enemies, so she would have to become stronger as fast as possible. A part of her wished to never have found out about them, but the joy of having two families willing to support her, to protect her and accept her on their lives overweighed it, and Tsunade commented that she never saw somebody so disposed to become stronger. Naruto and Sakura decided to introduce Karen to the rest of their friends in the next free evening. The girls were happy to have another female in the group, especially Hinata, because Naruto now had a bigger family, although Ino and Sakura didn't like the way Karen was ogling at Sasuke. Haku was very glad to have another distant relative. Karen was surprised to sense that his chakra was incredibly warm although it resembled ice. Shikamaru commented how troublesome was to have another dominant girl. Chuji asked himself how it would taste Karen's chakra once he was told about her healing ability. Shino commented that she would be a great addition to any team, while Kiba said something about Karen having the best legs he ever saw in a girl of her age, receiving some hits from the girls and Naruto, who was on a protective mode for his new cousin. You definitely got more from Sakura's family than from Naruto's, commented Sai. Is it because we both are beautiful, intelligent and talented? Asked Sakura. No, it is because you both have a very fluctuating personality, seem to be closet perverts, have freak hair and both you are flat-chested, said Sai. The way Sakura and Karen synchronized with each other while beating the poor Sai left no doubts to the others that the girls were related. Then came the issue about Crane's accommodation. At first she wanted to live alone by herself, but her relatives from both families refused it. At the end it was decided that she would live half the time with the Harunos and the other half with the Uzumakis. The girl wouldn't admit it but loved the new situation with her relatives. Talking about moving to other houses, Hinata's time with the Uzumakis expired and she moved back to the Hyuga compound with Naruto accompanying her, ready to spend a week there. It was interesting to see how the coexistence of the former branches turned now that they were equals. Niji still had some problems to assume that he was the new heir, with the deference shown by everybody or referring to Hayashi as his father. Naruto didn't have that problem and called Hayashi 2-san and Niji ni-san, much to their annoyance. While some of the older Hyugas found Naruto's carefree attitude a bit unsuitable, the younger generations adored him, wanting to play with him and to hear about his adventures, especially Hanabi, who considered him her other older brother. The Uzumakis and the Harunos were not the only families who got back a estranged family member. After coming to Konoha with the ninja team that rescued her, Isaribi was put under Tsunade's care, who eliminated the scales she had in her human form so she no longer needed to wear those bandages. However, Tsunade told Isaribi that she would have to live with the ability to change into her Kaima form, but there at Konoha with people able to turn into gigantic two-headed canine creatures, people who had insects living in their bodies or people who could see through walls, Isaribi's power wouldn't be seen as an abomination but as a valuable ability. In fact, Jiraiya offered her to join Konoha's ninja forces. The evil ninja Dr. Amachi who experimented on her at least did a good job training her, so she only would need to take some complementary lessons from Irika to be considered fit to be a ninja. One day she was walking down Konoha streets and somebody called her name. Isaribi-chan. You are Isaribi, don't you? Said a big man with a scar on his chin. Kaiza and I-san. Is that you? She babbled. He rushed towards the girl and embraced her on his arms. My little sister. You are alive. And look how much you grew up. I thought that I lost you in that storm. Where have you been all this time? He asked. Isaribi explained how she was kidnapped by Amachi and was turned the subject of his experiments, turning her into a human-fish hybrid and being forced to work for him if she wanted to be normal again, and how a team of Konoha ninjas defeated him and brought her to Konoha, where Tsunade gave her back her human appearance and her decision to join the Leaf. After hearing her story, Kaiza wanted to storm Konoha's prison and impale Amachi with his harpoon and then going to Sea Country and beat the villagers, but Isaribi told him to let it go. When Kaiza calmed down, he told Isaribi how he wandered by fishing villages until he arrived to Wave Country, where he met Tsunami and her family, became Wave's hero during a flow, and how Gato tried to get control of the country, but thanks to a group of Konoha ninja hired by his father-in-law they stopped him, and how the Wave Country chose to become part of Fire Country after that. Why, you are married. And you have an adopted son, and your father-in-law is the governor of Wave's province. It is too much to assume, she said. I can't wait until you meet Isaribi-chan, they will be very happy to know you, he said. I don't know, what if they are afraid of my Kaima form? She asked. Don't worry about that, they are not that kind of people. They got very sad when I told them about how I lost you and how they would have loved to meet you. They will receive you with open arms. Did I tell you that Inari is also studying to become a ninja? Commented Kaiza. As Kaiza said, Inari, Tsunami and Tazuna received Isaribi with open arms. She was embraced by Tsunami when she showed her the Kaima form, while Tazuna said that she looked like a mermaid, and Inari commented that her aunt had very cool powers and wished he could do the same. Then Kaiza and Tsunami asked Isaribi to live with them. Like Karen, she was a bit reluctant to live with them at first, but Tazuna insisted that families at Konoha lived together, and at the end she moved with them. When they told their Konoha friends about the connection between Kaiza and Isaribi, the news were received with surprise and satisfaction to know that another family was reunited again. Jiraiya commented that if they got another new ninja of Karen and Isaribi's age they could form a new team, but at the moment they girls would have to assist other teams while they got more training. Days later, the long-awaited day of the prelims finally came. All the streets of the village were decorated by badges from the different villages participating, posters of the contenders, and all visitors from all the elemental countries, not only the daimyos and possible clients, due to the success of Jiraiya's publicity stunt, with several Jinchurikis participating on the exams and the exhibition match between Kiri and Konoha Nins. Due to that match, it was the first time all the great ninja villages were represented in an exam, making it the one with the highest number of spectators. Hotels were at 100% of their capacity, and businesses like restaurants, food vendors, gift shops, and similar stores were making the sales of their lives. One of the most awaited events were the arrivals of the delegations from the different villages. Mist's delegation was received by the speechless faces of the men at the Mizukage's beauty, while the women instinctively looked at her as a menace. The delegation of Suna was received with great expectation and curious stares, with people wanting to see with their own eyes the Sandaime Kazekage, a man who came back from the dead. Curiously, the mysterious leader of the Sound Village didn't came to Konoha, and their only representation was a pair of Jonins, even though they had two teams in the exams. Kyumo's delegation was received by Killer B. Hey brother. Came here to see how our team kicks some ass and... Lariat, exclaimed the Raikage while he tackled his younger brother with one of his signature moves. You idiot! How you dare to leave the village without my permission? You are supposed to be Kumo's guardian, exclaimed A while he grabbed B in a headlock. Ouch, calm down brother, I just took the holidays you promised me, said B. Not here in Konoha, especially after what happened in Suna and having other Jinchurikis around. I had to leave Darui in charge because you were not there and, said A before realizing the implications of leaving B leading Kumo during his absence and decided that having B in Konoha was actually the less destructive scenario for Kumo. We will take about it later, now behave yourself and don't cause any trouble, said A. Finally Iwa's delegation arrived with the Godame Tsuchikage Muta, flanked by his most trusted jonins. It has been a long time since my last visit to Konoha, the village has prospered a lot. Too much for my task, but luckily that thing will end soon and I have the tools for it, thought while he used his Kage hat to hide his activated Sharingan eye. Karen, the only survivor of the massacre at the Forest of Death, found out that she is related to both the Uzumakis and the Harunos and becomes a new member of both families. Something similar happens to Isaribi, who finds her last relatives in Konoha. But there is no time to celebrate. The first day of the long-awaited prelims of the Chunin exams finally came and all the current Kages are going to watch them. The genius Shikamaru was in one of the stadium's corridors, waiting for his team to arrive while having an internal debate. He woke up that morning hoping to end his team's participation in the prelims after the first match after showing enough skills and strategy to make Ino and Chuji eligible for Chunin rank. The possibility of Orochimaru making another attempt to invade Konoha in this timeline was very real, so leaving the exams at the first chance the most intact possible was the wisest course of action for any of the Genin teams in order to protect Konoha better when the invasion started. The other reason, because he wanted to finish his participation in the exams as soon as possible, was to diminish his own chances to become a Chunin and stay as Genin some more time before having to deal again with the annoying responsibilities of being a Chunin. Naruto's future self was annoyed about being to only one of our age group remaining Genin after his return to Konoha, unaware that we secretly envied him for not having to do the annoying administrative tasks that came with Chunin rank, while at the same time he got the higher-ranked missions that were restricted to Chunins and Jonins. He had the best of all ranks without any of the drawbacks. I still remember the face he got after he realized what he was getting into when he finally got promoted, thought Shikamaru with a smile. However, his smiling face turned into a serious one. When I came back in time, I just hoped that I could delay my promotion and enjoy the simple rank of Genin a bit more, but thanks to Temari's village I will have to make a show that would guarantee my promotion and put me on the spotlight. That woman is able to complicate my life without realizing it, he thought. Flashback, yesterday while heading home after finishing his training, Shikamaru was aborted by a boy about 2 years older than him saying that he wanted to talk to him about an important matter. Do I know you? You seem familiar to me, but I don't know why, commented Shikamaru. Geez, Nara, don't you recognize a fellow time traveler? Asked the boy. Kankuro? That's how you look without that paint on your face. Why you are not wearing it? Asked Shikamaru. Because there are times when I want to take a walk without being recognized as the Yondaime Kazekage's son and receive some normal treatment, and, much to my regret, it served me in the past for not be recognized as Gaara's brother and make some friends. Shikamaru, I came to tell you something important about Temari, said Kankuro. Temari? Did something happen to her? Asked Shikamaru, abandoning his lazy attitude. Temari is alright, she is not aware of what is happening. It's Suna's council, they are pressuring the Sandaime Kazekage to offer Temari's hand to another heir of Konoha's clans, said Kankuro. What? You see, although your father is one of the most important ninjas of the village due to being Konoha's Jonin commander, that position is not inheritable, so nothing guarantees that you would get that position by your own merits in the future, said Kankuro. The same happens with the other clan heirs, we won't get any position in Konoha's government we didn't earn by our own merits. Even our current status as clan heirs can be removed if we are not seen fit for them, pointed Shikamaru. Yes, that's true, but the clans of the other heirs have higher standing and prestige than yours. The counselors think that those factors would be more beneficial for Suna. The Hyugas, the Uchiha, the Akamichis, and the Aburames have noble status, and in the feudal world we live that is extremely valued outside ninja villages, and then there are the latest revelations about the Uzumaki clan, said Kankuro. Let me guess, now that the knowledge that the Uzumaki's relationship with the Senjus and Konoha's origin is widespread, they are the closest thing that Konoha has to a royalty. If we add that they have the exclusivity of some of the strongest wind jutsus, the biggest knowledge about seals, a powerful bloodline limit and the guardianship of Konoha's bijou, it's easy to find out why they would prefer Naruto as a more suitable suitor for Temari, said Shikamaru. Kankuro nodded. Yes, the former pariah of your village is now one of the most valued single men in the elemental countries. Just imagine how the counselors would turn when Minato-sama decides to reveal his true identity, said Kankuro. Are the counselors of your village aware that Naruto is engaged to Hinata Hyuga and that he is no longer an orphan? He can't tap into the CRA, he can't practice polygamy, and your counselors can't pretend him to break the engagement with Hinata without causing a diplomatic incident, possibly a clan war with the Hyugas, if Naruto's family doesn't kill them, pointed Shikamaru. Yes, Suna's counselors are aware of that. They are thinking about a temporary marriage, said Kankuro. A what? What you heard. It's an ancient tradition of Wind Country, from the times the population was composed exclusively of nomad clans. In order to prevent endogamy within the clans and to promote peace among them, we had temporary marriages. Each clan lent one of its most promising members to the other clan to marry into it. Usually it was supposed to last until a child was born. When it happened, the marriage would end and the taken member would return to his or her clan. Because it is not a normal marriage per se, it wouldn't be incompatible with an existing one. According to Wind Country's customs, to propose one of these marriages is an invaluable honor, and rejecting it would be a big insult to Suna, said Kankuro. Shikamaru was trembling with rage. There was no doubt that the Uzumakis would reject that proposal, but doing it they would be insulting Suna and causing a diplomatic incident, and Konoha was not in position to do that with Madara's menace. They want Naruto and Temari too. Yes, Suna would be in position to demand techniques from the Uzumaki clan as inheritance for any child produced by the union, and if Naruto gets a high position in Konoha, they could use the child to manipulate him. Even if the Uzumakis rejected said child, the combination of Naruto and Temari genes would create a very powerful line for Suna. It would be guaranteed that a child produced from that union would be a powerful wind user. Many temporary marriages were made for that sole reason, said Kankuro. And what does the Sandaime Kazekage think about that nonsense? Asked Shikamaru. He dismissed the counselors and told them to not bother him again with that crap if they didn't want him to tell Gaara how they wanted to force his dear sister and the friend who saved him from darkness into a loveless marriage. That worked for a while, but people began to talk about how much better are the other clan heirs for Temari compared to you, especially Naruto. For that reason I came here to warn you to not exhibit any of your lazy tendencies. You have to make a memorable performance that would cease all rumors about your suitability for Temari, said Kankuro. The look on Shikamaru's eyes confirmed Kankuro that Shikamaru needed no more words. The Nara wouldn't hold back. End flashback. Not suitable enough for Temari? It's time to remind everybody how aggressive a deer can get when someone gets between him and his hind, thought Shikamaru while he undid his hair. It's time to make a little image change. Some minutes later the rest of his team finally appeared. They looked very depressed, especially Ino. Shikamaru's new look barely had an effect on them. Hi, Shikamaru, trying a new look? Not bad, but perhaps it won't be enough, commented Chuji. Why those faces? He asked. We just heard from some Jonins talk that among the Konoha 15 our team is labeled as the weakest, responded Chuji. Why? They didn't watch us fighting yet, pointed Shikamaru. That's right, but after I compared our team with the others I can't help but to give them reason. Unlike other teams, we don't have any special weapons like the shuriken sword that Tenten wields, we don't have any bloodline limit user while other teams have at least one, none of us can summon creatures but Kurenai's team has Sasuke-kun's cats and I don't want to think about Hayate's team with Naruto and Lee able to summon toads and turtles respectively. The final straw was when I realized that 3 teams have a member able to fly. It's not like I regret to be on the same team as you guys, I wouldn't change it. But it looks like Tsunade-sama lent us her luck when the teams were formed. And then there is the issue with Sasu. Never mind, said Ino. And? Just because we don't have some of the advantages other teams have, it doesn't mean that our team is weaker. This team was formed because several generations of our ancestors proved that the combination of our abilities is bigger than the sum of its parts. This is not a competition to see which team has more advantages, it is a war to show how we fight our adversaries with what we have. It doesn't matter what we have for fighting but how we use it to fight, and on top of that we have the best teamwork among all the teams. We actually got very lucky when the Hokage decided to organize fights among teams for the prelims and make them count for the promotions. Besides, we have some new abilities that our adversaries don't have. Believe me when I say that I feel sorry for those who have the bad luck to face us, said the Nara. Ino and Chuji looked at him like he grew a pair of horns, but their expression changed from surprise to a smiling. You are right, Shikamaru, we will show those idiots who underestimated us that we are the best team in the exams, said Ino. Yeah, let's prove why the teams made by the combination of our clans have been there for generations, said Chuji. Okay. When we are told which team we will have to face first, we only will have some minutes to prepare our strategy, but that won't be any problem because I already made some research and prepare a plan to fight any of the other teams participating. They are doomed and don't know it, said Shikamaru. The trio of genins headed towards the arena ready to face whoever who had the bad luck to be their adversaries. On a corner Asuma smiled. I got very lucky when this team was assigned to me. One of the genins was not a snot-nosed kid that needed instruction but a full-fledged ninja, an equal. I think that I should write a recommendation to the Fire Lord, he thought. The girl from Taki, an irritable fool, was waiting for her teammates to appear. It was not like she missed them, they didn't get along, but she needed them in order to participate in the exams. The reason Fu felt uneasy was the loss of her hair clip. She has been looking for it everywhere but couldn't find it. She didn't tell it to anybody, but it was her most prized treasure, the last gift that her mother gave to her before dying on a mission. She suspected that her stupid teammates were behind the theft. As long as the exams were over she would interrogate them, no matter what their Jonin sensei said. She already did enough going to that dinner with the Aburames. The bug users. Flashback: the Jinchuriki of the Seven Tails was sitting on one of the chairs surrounding a dinner table while looking back at the eyes covered in black glasses staring at her. Is the dinner acceptable, Fu-san? I noticed that you barely ate your part, asked Shibi Aburame. It is acceptable, Aburame-san, it is nothing personal, but I'm used to eat only the food I prepare myself, she said. Why? That, my dear? Asked a kind-looking woman with regular glasses, the only one who didn't look like an Aburame. I had some bad experiences, she said. Did they try to poison you? Asked Shino. Fu nodded. Yes, that happened, one of my caretakers. The leader of the village had her executed and made me learn how to cook my own food in order to prevent situations like that. Did something happen with your own Jinchuriki? She asked. The issue of the tailed beasts was finally addressed. Well, something similar happened, but it was due to Naruto-san's own fault. One day he woke up late and didn't have time to prepare his breakfast, so he took a whole cartoon of milk from the bottom of his fridge without realizing that it expired months ago. He spent most the day at the academy's toilet, said Shino. Fu sweat dropped. The Jinchuriki of the Kyubi was really strange. If it was not for the reports she read about him and the fact that his team was the first one to complete the second test, she would think that Naruto Uzumaki was a complete clown. Why did you ask for me to dinner here? And how did you manage to convince the leader of Taki to order me to come here? She asked. Not many people know about it, but we Aburames are actually what would be considered a noble clan. In ninja villages where your status depends more on your own merits than on your heritage, it barely matters, but outside the villages it is another thing. The elemental nations are feudal countries after all. The leader of your village was aware of that and agreed to follow our request, said Shibi. Fu didn't expect that. The Aburames were nobility? Who else? The Akamichis. The reason we asked for your presence was because we wanted to talk with you about the bijou inside you, said Shibi. Yeah, what I imagined. What do you want to know? How it ruined my live. How it makes regular bugs to attack me and I kill them in frustration and retaliation. Is it the reason you asked for my presence? To warn me to not squash more bugs? Asked Fu. No, that's not the reason, said Shino. Although we would be happy if you stopped doing that, we made sure to keep our own ones away in order to not make you feel uneasy. Those bugs actually don't attack you, they are just attracted to the nanabi. For them it would be the closest thing to a deity. That's the reason we wanted to talk with you. What is to have such wonderful being inside you? Asked Shino. What? Wonderful being? The nanabi? You have to see our point of view, Fu-san. We highly value rare bugs and you happen to have the rarest, biggest and most powerful bug ever. Many of us wouldn't mind to be in your situation as the nanabi Jinchuriki, said Shino. Are you retards or what? Do you want to get the stares, the nasty comments, the hate and all that shit that comes with having a tailed beast inside you? You don't know what is that, she exclaimed. The Aburames stood there for several seconds until the woman who didn't look like one began to giggle. Oh, sorry everyone, I just found funny that Fu-chan thought that the Aburames didn't know what was to be rejected for something that is inside you, she said. Mother, please, don't refer to our guest like that, you are not familiar with her enough for that treatment, said Shino. The woman took off Shino's shades and poked his forehead with them. Don't dare to teach manners to your own mother, Shino-chan. I'm the one who taught you them, she said in a playful tone. Fu couldn't believe the way those two were behaving. She also got the chance to see Shino's eyes. Aburames are familiar with the life of Jinchurikis. The treatment we get from many people is not so different. We have bugs inside our bodies, of course it would cause repulsion on most people. We are usually lone kids when we are children, said Shibi. We usually make our first friends once we became part of a team, but until that moment we only have our family. Aburames would get more friends if they opened more to people instead of doing the strong and silent type all the time. Fu-chan, do you know that Aburames actually have a great sense of humor? Sometimes Shino-chan goes to variety salons under a henge and everyone goes crazy with his jokes, said Shino's mother. Mom! It is supposed to be a secret. And give me back my shades, exclaimed Shino. Behave yourself, Shino-chan, remember that we have a guest at home. Why don't you entertain us with one of your jokes? It is our duty as hosts to make her feel at home, she said. You have to excuse my wife, said Shibi, she is too informal, but that's one of the things we love about her. Excuses accepted, said Fu, still dumbfounded. Another reason we asked for you to come was to make a proposal to you, said Shibi. Fu tensed a little. Were the Aburames planning to make a marriage proposal between her and Shino? Hokage-sama is planning to make a shinobi exchange program among allied villages. One of our members is really interested in a bug species that only lives near Takigakure and is going to be the one chosen to go to your home village. We would be very grateful if you offered yourself volunteer to be the Taki ninja coming to Konoha. If you agree, we will personally request to the leader of your village to send you. As I said, we have some influence, he won't deny it. You would stay with us here in the Aburame compound, but don't worry, we will make sure that the bugs won't bother you, he said. Why me? She asked. As I said, we are really interested to know more about the nanabi. With what we would discover, we could help you to harmonize with it and to learn to control its power. Even if it fails, we could teach you some bug-based jutsus that there is no doubt that you will be able to learn due to being the nanabi Jinchuriki, said Shibi. Fu didn't know what to say. Aye. Need some time to think about it. Would you mind if I wait until the exams end to give my answer? It's a very important decision, I need more time to think about it, said Fu. Shibi nodded. Of course, it would be very inconsiderate from us to ask for a quick response, said Shibi. End flashback. At the end, Shino's mother managed to convince him to make a comical show. She didn't exaggerate when she said that her Soon was good, Fu never had so much fun in her life. Now that she reminded that night she couldn't ease the pain it caused. The Aburames inadvertently opened a wound that she thought closed a long time ago. They reminded her the joys of having a family. There was that proposal to live with them if she agreed to offer volunteer for the exchange program, but it would be only temporal, and the Aburames never hid that they wanted her to stay with them in order to study the Nanabi. A part of her really wanted to agree with the proposal, but a more cynical of her was telling that the Aburames would discard them once they learned everything they wanted about the Nanabi. Fusan, said a voice she recognized. Shino was behind her holding the missing hair clip. Shino-san. I suppose that this is yours. I found it at the compound the day after your dinner with us, he said. She took it back. Thank you, Shino-san. Why did you guess that it was mine? She asked. Well, it looked exactly like your eyes, and I suppose that it was yours, and because my Kakachu bugs recognized the scent of your chakra, he said. Fu didn't know what to say. One thing, Fu-san. Be careful during the exam, especially around the ninjas from Iwa and Oto. If something happens during the exams, try to find a Konoha Jonin, they will protect you with their lives. If you find men wearing black cloaks with red clouds, please run as fast as you can, okay? He said. Ah, well, thank you for the warning, Shino-san. If you excuse me, I have to find the rest of my team, she said while she left the place, only to suddenly stop. Shino-san, she said. Yes, he asked. Good luck, she said while she left. Fu reminded that Naruto and Gaara gave her the same warning, that there were some dangerous missing nins after the tailed beasts. Perhaps she should think more seriously about the Aburame's offer. Besides, Shino's jokes were very funny. Sasuke made a last checking to his equipment, making sure that everything was in optimal condition, especially the Thunder Fang. I never imagined that I would be wielding one of the Mist's blades, or at least part of it. I can't wait to test it against my adversaries. It will be a good way to show the power of the new Uchiha police force. The boy stood there for a few seconds with a blank face. It's curious, now the development of the new force is my top priority, not to kill Itachi. Now what I want to do about it is to find the truth about what happened. That night, Sandame-sama says that something went horribly wrong, while Yandame-sama said that Itachi was not the true responsible. Naruto's father, Yandame, so hard to imagine but so obvious, that knucklehead resembles his father more than I do with my own 1-inch, thought. Flashback, the day of Hayashi and Kyoko's wedding. The members of Naruto's generation who just found out that Arashir Uzumaki was actually the Yandame Hokage were still assuming the news when Naruto aborted Sasuke. What do you want, Naruto? He asked in a blunt tone. It's my father, he wants to talk to you alone, said Naruto. He wants to talk to me? About what? Something about your parents. He met them in the afterlife and... What? Bring me to him, quickly. Naruto leads Sasuke to a room where Minato was waiting for them. Hello, Sasuke. Naruto, thank you for your help, please leave us alone, this is something that only concerns Sasuke, said Minato. Okay, Dad. Sasuke, please listen carefully to what Dad is going to tell you. Not many people has the chance to hear about his family from the afterlife, said Naruto. And less people gets them back, thought Sasuke in a bitter tone while Naruto left. Yandame-sama, said Sasuke. Yes? Your family back? No, I can't bring people from the afterlife, I tried it. I'm only here due to some exceptional circumstances and the agreement of the Shinigami, said Minato. Sasuke felt dejected, For a moment he thought that he could get back what he lost, but the Yandame's words vanquished the hope. Minato looked at the Uchiha. "I suppose that you were already told about it, but you really resemble your mother," said Minato as a way to break the ice. "Yes, many people remind me of that," responded Sasuke in a melancholic tone. "Do you know that we were placed in the same genin team under Jiraiya's command? That team didn't last very long, but it was my first one and I have very good memories about it," said Minato. "Yes, my mother mentioned it briefly but she never bragged about it," said Sasuke. "Yes, she is very humble when talking about herself. It is not the same when she talks about her family, your father and her swank a lot about their children," said Minato. That caught Sasuke off guard. He didn't know if it was that the Yandame talked about his parents like they were still alive or the news about them bragging about both their children. "What are you talking about? They wouldn't talk about Itachi like that," he exclaimed. Minato looked at the Uchiha with a serious face. "Sasuke, what happened that night years ago was not what it seemed. The Sandaime told you about that. Itachi lied to you. He didn't do what he did to test his strength. All I can say is that there was more people implicated in the massacre, including the responsible of the Kyuubi attack. Your brother was just a pawn, a sacrificial lamb in the process. For that reason your parents forgave him," said Minato. They forgave him?" Minato nodded. "Yes, it may sound strange but that is what happened. I have no reason to lie to you. I tell you this because if you fell consumed by the darkness produced by revenge you may end in a different place in the afterlife when your time comes and lose the chance to see again your family in the afterlife," said the Yandame. That hit Sasuke like one of Jiraiya's biggest summons landing over him. I may not see them again," babbled. "They are in a place where resentment can't exist. When a person dies that person is purified of the bad feelings, but if those feelings are too predominant in said person's personality then the personality vanishes and what remains is a pure soul that is reincarnated, without any trait of the old personality," said Minato. Sasuke didn't know what to think. The confirmation that someday he could see his parents again was the greatest news he got, but the revelation that he could lose it if he kept with the revenge was making to crumble the pillar over he rebuilt his life after the night he lost everything. Minato put his hands on Sasuke's shoulders. "Don't worry Sasuke, your reaction confirms that the love you feel for your parents exceeds the hate you feel for Itachi. That's a good signal. I just ask you to be a little patient, postpone your obsession and live your life. That's what your parents would have wanted. When time comes you will have a chance to meet Itachi again, clarify what really happened and then determine what to do," said Minato. Sasuke was very confused. "Months ago before this meeting things were more clear for me. After talking with the Sandaime I took the decision to find out what really happened before deciding what to do about Itachi, but to find out that my parents forgave him and that revenge could make me lose the chance to see them again. But what happened that night was unforgivable. Someone has to pay. It's not fair," he exclaimed. Surprisingly Minato nodded. "Yes, someone has to pay. I'm not telling you to leave that unpunished. There is a difference between the seek of justice and revenge. Sometimes the line between them is thin and diffuse, but it exists. To be able to see that line is one of the qualities you will need if you want to be ready for the position of police chief the Sandaime is training you for." "How is the new police force coping, by the way?" said Minato. Sasuke's face brightened. "It is going really nice. All the installations are already working and the police office is completely restored and we have lots of applicants to join the force. If I make Chunin the Sandaime said that I will be assigned to instruct the new recruits for the force and..." Sasuke spent the next minutes talking enthusiastically with Minato about the new police force. The older man then told him about some of the anecdotes that happened to other Uchihas in the afterlife, like the time Shisui used his powers to make some Hyugas to dress in pink kimonos without them realizing, and how they got revenge paralyzing his face leaving him with a stupid grin for a day, or how his uncle and aunt baked a bread full of spicy sauce and put it on the Nidame Mizukage's dinner with hilarious results. When the meeting ended Sasuke joined back the party, feeling happier than he ever felt in years. End flashback. Sasuke greeted his teammate Sakura. Shino wouldn't be far away. In the Uchiha's point of view, the Aburame happened to be a very reliable teammate, intelligent, efficient, serious, skilled and a great team worker. Sasuke was very satisfied to have Shino on his team instead of somebody like Naruto or Kiba who would be all-time bragging about their skills. However, the greatest surprise happened to be Sakura. At first he thought that the pink-haired fangirl would happen to be a nuisance and a burden, but after she realized that the ninja world was not the romantic succession of adventures she imagined it was, the girl made an impressive improvement, acquiring reliable medical skills under Tsunade's tutelage and very useful genjutsu techniques under their sensei Kurenai. Sasuke also found out that Sakura's feelings for him turned into actually genuine love, no longer a girlish crush. It took him some time to assume that he also developed similar feelings for his teammate, but now everything was clear for him. "Hello Sasuke-kun," she said, looking a bit nervous while she gripped something in her hand. "Hello Sakura, is something bothering you?" "What do you have there?" he asked. Sakura handed him a small sack with a seal. "I just wanted to give you a good luck charm for the combats. I also made one for Shino, but yours, well, it's special," she said. Sasuke noticed that the good luck charm that Sakura gave to him was wrapped with some her pink hair. "That way you would have a part of me," she said with a blush. Sasuke hung the gift around his neck, hid it behind his uniform and smiled at Sakura. "Thank you very much Sakura, I also have a gift for you," he said. "Ah really? What it is?" she asked. Sasuke took Sakura on his arms and gave her a passionate kiss. Sakura couldn't believe what was happening to her. That kiss was completely better and different than the one he gave her when they spied on Naruto and Hinata's date. This is heaven, she thought. "Oh yes, don't stop," thought inner Sakura. "Ahem," said a familiar voice. The couple interrupted the kiss to see an inexpressive Aburame looking at them. "Oh, hello Shino," said Sakura with a blush, "how are you?" "I have a present for you, a good luck charm." "Thank you very much Sakura," said Shino while he took the gift. He looked at Sasuke. "Sasuke, if you are planning to give me a gift like the one you gave Sakura, I'm sorry but I will have to reject it," he said. Oh yes, Sasuke also forgot about Shino's peculiar sense of humor. "Sasuke, can I have a word with you alone?" "There is something I want to tell only to you," said Shino. Fine," said Sasuke. "If you excuse us Sakura," said Shino. "What do you want Shino?" asked Sasuke once Sakura was out of sight. "I just wanted to give Sakura some time to talk with the other person who saw that kiss and warn you to don't play with her feelings. Although she is loud and sometimes a bit annoying, she is a good friend and I wouldn't have any problem to maim you if you hurt her," said Shino. "There is no need to threaten me about that." "What do you mean about somebody else seeing that?" asked Sasuke. With Sakura, the girl was still recovering from Sasuke's kiss when she noticed the other person at the room. It was Ino. The surprised look on the Yamanaka's eyes confirmed that she also saw the kiss. "I. Congratulations Sakura, finally you got him," exclaimed Ino while she hugged a surprised Sakura. "Ino? What's the meaning of this?" she asked. "Oh come on forehead, you didn't realize it yet? That's what I always wanted. I just pretended that I liked Sasuke in order to motivate you more to get him. The truth is that I never liked him, I found him cute but nothing more," she said. "What? Are you telling me that everything was a facade?" asked Sakura. "Yes it was. Just a little after we became friends I realized that you could become too dependent on me and you wouldn't blossom to your full potential, so I pretended that I also liked Sasuke in order to make you react and get more aggressive," said Ino. Sakura was speechless. Are you telling me that you did all that for me?" asked Sakura, really touched. "What are friends for?" "I have to confess that sometimes I had some problems to contain myself and tell you the truth, that everything was an elaborated prank," said Ino. It's hard to believe, it's like those Naruto fics where he hides his true self and pretends to be an idiot," said Sakura. Deception is a ninja's best weapon, that's the reason I'm the best kunoichi here, said Ino. You better than me? You are still living a lie, pig, there is no way you would beat me, responded Sasuke. We will see that if our teams fight, talking about that, I'm getting late to meet them, see you later forehead, said Ino while she left. Good luck Ino. And thank you, said Sakura with a warm smile. Good luck Sakura, said Ino. Good luck to Sasuke and you, whispered Ino when she was sure that nobody was around while a single tear crossed her cheek.
That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.